Welcome to Riding the Trauma Train, or welcome back if we've shared this space before. I'm Lydia, your host and fellow passenger in this journey of self-healing, inner strength and personal growth. This podcast is a safe, judgment-free space dedicated to the realities of living with and healing from trauma. Through personal stories and in-depth conversations with special guests, including therapists, healers, practitioners, and fellow survivors, we look at what healing can truly look like in everyday life. We explore realistic healing journeys and share simple, sustainable practices and actionable tools to support your well-being along the way. So grab your ticket, take a seat, and remember you are not on this journey alone. Welcome to Riding the Trauma Train. I'm Lydia, your host and fellow passenger on this journey towards self-healing, inner strength, and personal growth. This podcast is a safe, judgment-free space where we talk about trauma, healing, and the various modalities that can help us on our way. Today, we have got the wonderful Jen Bailey Hobbs, who I have known for a very long time, and she has transformed herself through mind, body, spirit, and she's done this through mindfulness, breathwork, cold therapy, and I'm so excited to hear about all those things. So grab your ticket, take a seat, and remember, you do not have to travel this journey alone. Welcome, Jen.
Hi,
Thank you so
Lydia.
much.
Thank you for inviting me into your space.
So, obviously, we met through a previous employment many, many years ago. And
Long time.
when we were together, we were two completely different people. Tell me about your journey. Start from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when we first, obviously we met in 2010, but it was 2016 we started that running challenge together, didn't we?
Yes.
And I think we were both carrying a lot of weight, but not only physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And I was in obviously the previous employment, and I just went through, let's peel back. So about 20 years ago, I was suddenly a single parent. And I think that's where it really started. It was a real shock. I had a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. And then I think what happened is I immediately went into fight and flight, being the provider, being the matriarch, not only to the family, but to my children. And I was working full time. Now, over a period of about 7 years, I here had probably over about 8 major spinal surgeries. My weight was increasing. I'm not realizing the pressure and the stress of being a single parent and working full time and throwing a degree in, as you do when you've got high functioning anxiety. You have to keep me doing something. I'll be happy when, which you probably can relate to. I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy when I get promoted. I'll be happy when I find the man of my dreams. And then you're just not enjoying the journey, which I didn't understand any of that then. I was just literally on that train, the running machine of life, I call it. So I was just working really, really hard, trying to balance all these things. And then in 2013, I met the man of my dreams, manifested this wonderful human being. Everything was going really, really well. I'd just been promoted at work, and you can appreciate from what our background is, that is no small feat.
No.
My children were settled. One was at university, one was at college. They were both really happy and thriving. I'd met a really amazing human being, and yeah, everything was going so well. And every single day I'd wake up crying. I couldn't sleep. I was just so sad. And I'm thinking, what is going on? I found it really difficult to share that I was sad, because actually from the outside, it looks like you're bawling. It looks like, you've got all your ducks in a row, but my ducks were like everywhere. And my depression, and I got a serious, severe depression, and I was deteriorating and deteriorating. I'd just been promoted. I'd broken my foot. So I had a few physical things going on as well as mental things, probably not realizing the mental things. I just made the assumption, because I can't run, that's why I'm low. And I remember going along to the doctors, and this is right at the beginning of my journey. And the doctor said to me, I blame your husband. I said, what do you mean you blame my husband? She said, you have been on fight and flight for 20 years, and now you're in a safe space. You are now able to heal. And I thought, wow, she's really in tune. And I said, well, yeah, but okay then. So it'll be a month, I'll be back to work. She said, I will tell you when you're well enough to go back to work. She said, it might be 1 month, it might be never, She said, you have now, this is your time and you need to serve yourself. And so I thought, oh my God, I'm very much, right, I need an answer. I'm a real problem solver, which comes from our background. You know, someone give me a problem. Yeah, we do this, 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 and this. And I was like that very much with my mental health. What do I need to do? So somebody recommended mindfulness. And I thought, what is this? Because I then was always in my head,
Yep.
worrying about, fretting about yesterday, worrying about tomorrow, never in the moment. And my mum always used to say to me, Jennifer, just enjoy the moment. I think, yeah, mum, we'll do tomorrow. And I remember doing this mindfulness and I thought, God, this is really, really fascinating, just being in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Tapping into your senses, your head, your body, your soul. But I still really struggled with it. So then I was introduced to meditation and I thought, this is absolute crap. So sorry, I hope that's okay to
Yeah,
say that.
no, that's fine. I think
It made me massively anxious because I'm lying there thinking, right, I need to be all zen and everything's calm. And why am I not calm? And why am I thinking about what I got to do later and thinking about hurry up or what I was thinking about yesterday? And so then I was introduced to the breath, which sounds bizarre because we breathe every single day. We take in over 30 pounds of oxygen every single day.
wow, I didn't know
And
that.
I was introduced through friends and I thought there must be something behind this. And then I just started to just explore different forms of breath work. I did some training. I did some different classes. And then I did a mindfulness course with the breath. And then it just started to make sense. I found out that after a minute of doing a specific breath work technique, I could feel that calm almost. This moment you start, you just feel it falling down from your head into your body. And it just really started to help me heal. So, and just dealing with all those emotions about not being at work, about trying to understand why I'm feeling unwell. I just brought myself into the moment. I thought the only moment that is guaranteed for me is being in the moment. And the breath was that catalyst for everything else falling into place. I went to loads of different retreats because I thought, right, okay, I need to heal myself. I need a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of this. And I can remember at one retreat, I thought, I just had this light bulb moment. I thought, God, this is what I want to do when I finish this career. I want to go into wellness. I want to provide these healing spaces. I want to share everything that's helped me. And so that was obviously that seed was planted. You plant that sankalpa, that deep into your soul, and then your soul's gift to you is to ensure that it happens, those intentions. And then I just got well. I started to move more. I got back to work. I had boundaries when I went back to work. I had 9 months off during this period. I literally couldn't even leave the house. I was just really, really unwell. Couldn't look in the mirror without having a panic attack. Couldn't look at my husband. As soon as he walked back in from work, I had a panic attack and he's going, I'd been managing all day, but it was the guilt. So with the breath, you can just manage all these emotions because you're bringing yourself into the moment. Yeah. And then, and then the rest is history. Finished my career, launched a beautiful wellness space, trained as an instructor on an international breathwork app, and then introduced cold water, which now I share with all my ladies and gents. And that is just my dopamine here. I've got this space now where we have selection of cold plunges, we have sauna, we have a steam room, a hot tub, and it is just a wellness hub that helps me and keeps me on that track. And then I lost 8 stone in between as well. So
Yeah,
quite a few things,
just
as you
drop
do.
that little bad boy in.
That bad boy.
I have seen your journey and I've been with you in your heart and in your mind, as in you've been in my heart and mind. And like we've connected because we've been on such an emotional and mental and physical journey. I think between us, like weight wise, we've lost probably, I can't do maths.
I've lost 8. What have you lost?
I've lost 5.
Yeah, 13.
That's not hard, is it? Come on.
That's okay.
But I think physically we've lost 13 stone, which is a person. Mentally, we've probably lost 5, 10 times that amount.
Absolutely. And I always say my weight loss journey is it's not actually about the loss, it's about the gains. It's about the gains of self-love. And it's not about being skinny. It's just
No,
about
God,
being
it's like
strong. It's about
strong.
being
Yeah.
strong. Yeah. I've put on a few kilos, but I'm so much stronger. My muscles going up, and it's about longevity. It's about
100%.
being more able to move more for my children. And now I'm a I'm a nonna. And,
I love
it's
that as
just,
well, Nonna.
A nonna, yeah. And it's just about being your best version. And that's all I've ever wanted. But I think my whole life I was serving everybody else. I was ignoring, I had 8, general anesthetics, several operations. I never listened. My body was telling me then, slow
Stop.
down. And I say now to my clients, listen to your body. But I never listened. So my back would go, my back would go, my back would go, my hip would go, my shoulder would go,
Yeah.
my foot would go. And then eventually the universe is saying, she's not listening to her body. So now her mind's going to
Yeah.
go. And when your mind goes, you literally can't go anywhere. And so and it was just about, I had to dig really deep and just learn so many modalities. But I think what's so important about this journey, which I know you're doing as well, is that what you learn, you need to share. You need to help
100%.
others. And that's where the pleasure is for me, is just about saying, it's just about helping others, because you can almost you can see people now. You think, God, I could really help you. The
It's
breath
the
could really help
vibrations,
you.
isn't it?
It's the
You
vibrations.
can absolutely tell when somebody, not when somebody needs help, but you can tell when they are looking for it. Yeah, it is vibrations. And I think, well, that is the reason I have started this podcast, because with my childhood trauma, I have got through so much and I'm still working through so much, but I know that I can help other people. And I know that there are hundreds of people that I can have on this podcast as guests to also help others. I just wanted to go back a couple of steps. So obviously you've been doing the breath work and you've said about cold therapy. Now I've only ever done one cold plunge, and one, it was phenomenal, but two, you really need that breath work when you're doing did it on my own in this this space like few miles away, but I think like your retreat, so seedlings retreat, I'm going to drop it in there. You do the breath work with people when they're doing that therapy, and I think I couldn't imagine getting in a cold plunge without doing it, or cold therapy.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Let's just talk a little bit more about the breath. So our breath can absolutely help to regulate our nervous system. So our nervous system is there to protect us. Okay, so if you have breathing really shallow, which most people do, breathing in through the mouth, into the shoulders, means you're going to have almost like a really rapid breath. And we naturally are in that position, because me and you now are speaking and we're breathing really shallow into the thing. Yeah. So you can, when you slow your breath down, as in breathing in through the nose, taking it deep into your core, deep into the lower part of your lungs. Firstly, you're slowing the breath down. Secondly, breathing in through the nose, what you're doing is you're activating a chemical called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates the veins and capillaries, enabling you to take in at least 20% more oxygen.
Oh wow.
When you slow that breath down, it activates that vagus nerve, which runs from the base of the brain into the gut. There's a lot of information out there about the vagus nerve. Now, that vagus nerve is one of the largest nerves in the nervous system, and that can directly influence the nervous system on how it's going to feel and how it's going to react. It can take you into the parasympathetic, which is that space for rest and digest, when you feel safe. The only time your body really is going to heal. So by teaching myself the breath, by understanding the benefit of slowing things down, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, or the nose, taking it really down, and just, you can see how I'm just slowing everything down now. What that does is it's taking you out of fight or flight, which is essential, but not all the time. And the thing is, with our society, it's like all the time we're on it. Through scrolling, through not enough daylight, not enough nature, not enough water, not enough clean food, not enough movement. The dopamine, we're looking for dopamine all over the place. Food, alcohol, screens, those quick real screens. And so by slowing everything down, you really are controlling the nervous system. Because when you get into cold water, your body is immediately going into fight and flight. Your body is saying, get me out of here. This is not what I want to do. Your nervous system is. I need to get out. But the amazing thing about cold water therapy is the fact that firstly, you're controlling your breath and you're reassuring that nervous system. You're literally saying to that nervous system, thank you very much for trying to keep me safe. I really appreciate you. I almost talk to my nervous system now. I understand why you're feeling like this, but it's okay. I will be okay. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to push away the fear, because most people, what stops them getting into the cold is the fear. I'm going to push the fear. I'm going to trust. Just going to be. I'm going to slow it all down. I'm going to step in as I'm breathing out. I'm immersing into the water. I'm slowing everything down. And then you get so if you start opening your mouth, go, or start swearing or start screaming, or what happens when people fall into cold water, and that's why
Hmm.
people get cold water shock, and that's why people drown. So if you're there and you're completely being guided and you're completely under control and you're in a safe space, and you've still got to be aware of how you're feeling, how you're breathing, how your head is, if you're not feeling well, we need to come out, but otherwise we're safe. And then we just breathe through and just slow it down. And then you get into the water. Most of my time, my water's set at about between 8 and 12 degrees. Now, that 10 degrees is that optimum temperature to give you a 250% dopamine hit.
Wow.
Which will last about 6 hours. If there's any science buffs on here, then I might be slightly wrong, but this is my understanding from the Jen's world of this. Cocaine apparently can give you a similar dopamine hit, lasts 2 hours, illegal, not good for you.
No.
Water, accessible, free. But also chocolate can give you, alcohol can give you that dopamine,
Yeah.
sex can give you that dopamine, scrolling can give you that dopamine hit, all those things. But for me, the water is just a no-brainer. It's so accessible. And it's interesting because there's been these articles out recently go, oh, cold water's bad for women. Okay, so only past 200 years, we've only just had hot water. So what do we do before then? We
Absolutely.
were okay. We were okay a few 300-400 years ago. All we ever had was cold water.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. We can have a baby. We can cope with some cold water. So yeah, and they're just the buzz you get from it is just absolutely phenomenal. It reduces inflammation. It increases the brown fat cells, burn off more calories to keep you warm. It reduces inflammation. And it increases your dopamine. It's absolutely, so I can feel massively overwhelmed. And I still struggle with anxiety. And I'll come down and I say to Chris, I'm really struggling today. And he'll just say, you know what you need to do? And I'll say, I know. So I'll go and do some breath and I'd get into the ice bath and then I'll get into the sauna. And I'm really blessed that I've got those things there because it's part of my business. But you don't actually have to have all the bougie gear. Just get under a cold shower. And if you
Yeah.
can't stand a cold shower to start with, just put your feet in cold water. Just put your hands in cold water. Start really, really gradually, but it's unbelievably good for you. And so the breath is essential.
Right. With everything that you've just said about dopamine, dopamine is what our body needs. It's what our brain needs. It's what our emotions need. The fact that cold therapy is 6 hours, that is insane. That's
Mm.
utterly insane. Right. Okay. That will be my next tick box is.
But even if it's you're just having cold showers every day. Now, I
Mhm.
used to struggle with cold showers because I'm so used to having hot shower and I find it easier to just breathe, get into the cold tank, be there for a few minutes and get out. But now I'm used to it. I miss it if I don't turn the shower down and it's only a minute blast.
Mm.
And, and I'm still making whoop, whoop, whoop noises in there and Chris thinks, oh yeah, she's under the cold shower. I sound like it. But, yeah, it's just so accessible and it's, you live near the sea,
Yeah.
that's fine. Just get down there or just fill your bath up with cold water and just put some frozen, you know, juice bottles of water, of ice in there.
Yeah.
You probably could get that down to about 16 degrees. Just in that, tap water is 18 to 21 degrees unless it's coming out of a borehole, which is like 14. So if we filled our cold tank up now, it's straight from the cold tank's 18 degrees. We're fortunate we've got air source pumps so we can actually regulate the temperature, bring it right down to 3 degrees. But
Wow. That's
18 degrees is still have massive health benefits for you,
Well,
massive health benefits.
that's like 20 degrees lower than what your body temperature, isn't it? So,
Yeah, it's significant. You've still got to use the breath to get into that. But it's just, and there's so many powerful, really, really short breathwork techniques that can really just help to settle your nervous system straight away. Underpinning most illnesses is stress.
Mhm.
Most illnesses. I think it's like the stats 80%. We can really help our bodies by learning to breathe consciously and coherently and reconnecting our minds and our hearts and our bodies. People say, what do you mean by that? Well, we are one. We are a human
Mhm.
being. Yeah. Firstly, a human being, not a human doing. So being is equally as important as doing.
I
But we
love
just
that.
need to, we just need to reconnect our minds. So what I do with my clients and what I do with myself is body scans. And that's a really, really powerful, mindful process. And that's just about starting from the top of your head to your eyes, to your jaw, to your chin, to your throat, all the way down, just reconnecting. And I like to sort of say is, just tapping into your own internal world. What do you need today? And you just work all your way down. Sometimes reminding yourself what fingers are like, feeling the what's supporting you, the chair, the sheepskins, or whatever you decide
Hmm.
is just to be, and just reconnecting. So once your mind and your body is all reconnected, that's again settling that nervous system, because our body knows exactly what to
Hmm.
do. We just
Yeah,
got to step out of our own way. The meditation and the rest enables our body to heal.
I
We don't
love
have to,
this.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just unbelievably powerful. And the breath has so helped me on my weight loss journey as well, because obviously through exercise, I did the Oxygen Advantage training, I've done some other training, and just the exercise, if you're running, if you're breathing through the nose, just makes you so much more efficient. If you're going to the gym, it makes you, if you're doing yoga, if you're doing Pilates, just learning to breathe correctly. It just really can help your performance as an athlete as well, or just walking.
Yeah.
And the mindful walking, so, the breath and the mindfulness, just being aware, turn those ear pods off. I turned mine off today. I went for a walk today and went to the gym and thought, I'm not wearing my pods today. I'm not going to listen to a podcast. What a difference. I think I'd perform better. And actually, I was a lot more mindful and I really enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to just
Yeah.
bring them. I always used to just like disappear into my own world and in my head. And it was just,
But
I
you
could just,
think you are, don't you? But you're
you
you're
think that you are.
actually you're going
Just a
into your ears as opposed to
Yeah,
into
it's
your
not.
body. Yeah.
Yeah, I could feel all the movements more. I could feel the weights more. I could feel that I could take on more weight because I wasn't being distracted by what somebody was saying in my ears. So yeah,
I did that this morning. Well, this morning I forgot my phone. So I went and dropped my girls off at school. And on the way back from the school, I turned everything off. So I was driving home and it was just peace. It was so nice. I didn't think of anything. I literally just looked at the countryside and drove here, and it was lovely. Okay. The other thing I want to talk to you about is I know that you've discussed that you've been through your own anxiety journey and that you still do, like it's something that you will always, mainly maybe not always, but it's something that when it crops up you need to work through. The riding the trauma train is obviously all about trauma and things that happen in our lives. How has the modalities that you've gone down, how would that help people that are listening?
yeah, with anxiety or anything, you're talking about with
Well,
anything
um,
really.
I've never had anxiety myself, but I have had with my complex PTSD, I get extremely low. And I say I never get anxiety. However, I have done in the last week where I get over, I think,
Overwhelmed. So sometimes,
yeah.
like overwhelm, I sometimes almost class that as anxiety as well.
Mm,
But for me, I never used to get. I think I've probably always got overwhelmed because I've always been like. I think I've probably got a little bit of ADHD, but not when I listen a little bit. 'Cause my mind's always on to the next thing, and I'm really
mhm,
easily distracted, and I'm a little bit chaotic, and I put things off until tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, and I know that I'm going to perform better if I actually had some order, but sometimes I just leave it. So I probably always had that underpinned, and I've always had huge expectations of myself and never really loved myself. Always thought loving yourself was a vain. It's not vain. I
mhm.
always thought self-care was selfish and could never understand when I'd see people as I was a kid or growing up as a young adult, always found time for exercise, always found time for themselves, always has those boundaries to protect themselves. And I can't see you. I'm at the gym at that time. I think, well, whereas I always, like, I remember when I went for some CBT once, which is amazing if it's needed. And I can remember the counsellor saying to me, why do you feel that you're so unimportant that you can't find 30 minutes a day just to go for a walk? Why are
Mhm.
you so low on your list of priorities? Like, I remember thinking, when you put it like that. So I think probably by not serving myself and not loving myself, that probably has fueled the anxiety, because I'm just these vibrations living in, not able to forgive myself for carrying lots of weight, and all these different things that trigger the anxieties. And also I think the menopause, perimenopause, that triggered it. So I went from being really, really high functioning, managing, as you know, what my job was. There'd be 100 staff all over remotely, to not even be able to run a bath. And a lot of that was the anxiety, literally stopped, halted everything, and the low mood. And when I have anxiety, it's a tightness in the chest. It is a feeling of overwhelm. It's a net in my neck. And I just know when it's coming. And sometimes, and I used to get a lot of it at night. So I used to suffer with night anxiety because I knew I was going to bed and not going to sleep. So about 6 o'clock would come. So this is for your readers. So they get it in the day, listeners, so they get it in the day or they get it at night. And I used to think about 6, Chris could see all this wave come over me. He said, because I knew I was going to bed and I knew I'd be awake all night. It's a really bloody lonely place when you're awake all night. Everything seems 20 million times worse than it is.
And longer.
And longer, an hour when you're awake at 3 a.m. Oh my God, it's like a whole day in daylight. That is why the breath is just so powerful. So if you are struggling with anxiety, overwhelm, low mood, I think that low mood for me was connected to the past, the depression. So I was like fretting and sad about the past, these emotions, these energies. The anxiety is triggered by worrying about the future, events that have never happened. I get anxious on a Friday about a Monday morning. Monday morning comes and nothing happened, and it never went like I'd pictured it. And I'd wasted a whole weekend worrying my pants off. So when you can use the breath and become mindful and be in the moment, that is when all those emotions almost just seem to just balance out. And you can also bring this immediate feeling of well-being because you're activating the serotonin, the chemoreceptors, you're activating the dopamine through the breath. So that is why. So if you are struggling with panic attacks, overwhelm, the breath can really, really help you. So, if you've panic attacks, I've had a couple of those. I don't know if you've ever had them, but they're absolutely horrible. You just feel this tightness in your chest. You feel you can't breathe, you can't speak, you feel like you're going to collapse. You feel like you're having a heart attack. And that is because you're in your head worrying about the future or whether or events have triggered you. So just by bringing yourself into the moment, what can I see? What can I hear? What can I touch? What can I smell? What can I taste? So when you bring yourself into the moment, touching into your senses, because the only way you can identify your senses is by being present, that can immediately help a panic attack. And then also breathing in very slowly through the nose for 4, and then breathing out for 6. Really simple. If you try and keep the exhalation slightly longer than the in-breath, because that slows everything down even further, 4, 6 is taking down to 6 breaths per minute. So having a panic attack, what can I see? I can see the grass. I can see the grass moving, breathing. What can I hear? I can hear the birds tweeting. What can I smell? I can smell the flowers. Bring yourself right into the moment. And then what you have in the panic attack will settle because you settled your nervous system and you brought yourself into the moment. That exactly works for anxiety. If you feel anxious, another one I do would be 4, 7, 8. 4 in through the nose, hold in for 7, out for 8. I've done all these with you before.
Yes.
Very, very simple, powerful ones. You just want to have a little bunch of tools to help you. So if you knew you had like a presentation to do or before a big podcast or something like that, and you're feeling a little bit anxious, but anxiety is good. It's a normal emotion. And I like it when I have my little anxiety. I say thank you because you're wanting to keep me really sharp. Or you have your, I call it, when you've, what's it called? Imposter syndrome. That's okay.
Yes.
That's so fine. Thanks. I can hear you, but don't worry. I've got control of this. And most of the time your thoughts aren't your own anyway. This could be another podcast. That's what's been implanted when we were kids, our thoughts. So that's for for your listeners is the breath can be super, super powerful for that. And I'm on an international breathwork app called the Breath Source. And
Yes.
there is live classes. It's just relaunched. We have live classes most days where you can tap into. It's just an absolute steal. You've got the world's leading breathwork instructors on there. I think it's under £10 a month for this amazing platform and plethora of breathwork instructors. And, you can just go into there and get a live class and just stick it in your ears on your lunchtime and think, well, I'm going to have 10 minutes.
That's
Just
amazing. So what's it called again? The Breath Source
the
app.
Breath Source app. So what I'll
Okay.
do is I'll share the link. But it's
Perfect.
definitely, so if you're suffering from, and then also obviously I've got my own platform. I do my own classes. I've got my own platform called Come to Bed with Jen, and the reason why that was launched is because that's where my mental health started to decline through my insomnia. And so many people struggle to sleep.
Yeah.
Either struggle to get off to sleep or wake up and then can't go back to sleep. And so through the meditation and the visualizations and a little bit of breath, I can give you the best sleep of your life.
That's amazing. I will get you to send me the links. I'll put them all in the show notes. I also want to talk about seedlings because I know you have a lot of where you've come from your previous job. You're now in a whole new business of the retreat world, and you've got all these wonderful things that you do and you offer to people. Tell us about seedlings, and obviously I will add
Yeah, oh,
seedlings
thank
to the
you.
show notes too.
Yeah, thank you. So when I was at that retreat and I thought I could do this, so that was a very small seed. And it's actually interesting because that was in 2017. So what's that? 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And two of the ladies I said that to have been watching my journey, have recently joined me in Italy on one of my retreats. And they were there when I first sowed that seed, which is really, really lovely. So the seed was sowed. I thought, this is what I want to do. I knew I was coming to the end of my career because after 30 years, you finish. I know I don't look old enough. Thank you.
You don't, hun. You don't at all.
And so as we moved to West Wales, we relocated 200 miles away from where we lived, left all my friends, really big thing. But the biggest driver was my mum had Parkinson's. And so I wanted to come and be nearer to her to help. Unfortunately, she's since passed. But what's interesting, Parkinson's is the inability to produce dopamine. I really wish now that I'd known all these things. When my mum was first diagnosed 20 years ago, I could have so helped her. I was able to do meditation at the end with her and things like that. But yeah,
20 years ago, they wouldn't have known that.
no, they probably did. I think Wim Hof knew all about it then. But yeah, it is what it is. But maybe that's my journey now to help
Yeah.
me. Who knows? And so we moved here because we wanted to be on the sea. Chris is a sailor as well as an engineer and a photographer, and we found this space. So we've set up Seedlings Retreats and Holidays in 2021. That's when I finished my career, moved on to my next chapter. And yeah, and it's just evolved over the last 4 years. And it started off mainly with holidays and a couple of walking retreats. And now it's just evolved. Now my understanding of the breath's become more deeper, and my love for water, and also more recently my love for heat. So it's really, really morphed into a really beautiful beast. So what we have here is a house on the harbour. We're very blessed, that overlooks the sea, but as this space, it's a really safe space. So people come here and they have meditation, they do breath work. I'm a Reiki master. That's something else I've done, which has been an amazing journey. And also they come here for contrast therapy. And contrast therapy is hot and cold. So we have a sauna that's just been built for us, and we have a selection of temperatures for ice. So it's just this beautiful space. So we run classes, day events, weekend events, and once a year we go to a fabulous place in Italy where we take lots of beautiful seedlings tribes. Yeah, and it's just grown into this beautiful, beautiful space and just helped to heal so many people. We've introduced them breath to the cold. People come back every month. Whenever I announce a day, I don't even have to put it out. It's just I just contact people that have been before, and they're going, yeah, I'm in. And it's just balancing that. But also I have to also balance my own wellness continually, because no one likes a tired healer. And I am a healer, something I can say with confidence now. It was something I used to struggle with saying that, but I've helped heal lots of people in different ways. So I'm really proud of that.
I'm proud of that as well, because I remember it was almost like you were swearing with that word. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you would say it was that's the imposter syndrome, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
you were,
probably. And then I'm just thinking, and and it's just, I help lots of people in different ways, and so you just become a healer, or I'm still serving, and
yeah,
that's what I get pleasure from, by serving others. But I have got boundaries now, that's where my life is different. So I still serve others and get great pleasure from that, and very generous with my time and my space. But I now am my priority.
yeah,
So I make sure I prioritize my food. I make sure I prioritize my exercise. Yeah. And because losing weight, 7.5 stone, which I'm 8 stone at my lowest, I'm really, really super proud of. But keeping it off and maintaining that lifestyle is next level.
yeah,
But I'm so proud of the bigger Jen, the love I have for the bigger Jen now, and the Jen that was lost and was really suffering with her mental health and didn't know which way to walk, couldn't see the wood through the trees. I'm really proud of her And she still is me. She's still inside, as is still my 7-year-old self. Yeah. So we
And
just
she took that first step.
you did, and that's a really brave. It's like
Mm.
pissing into the wind. It really is. You just don't know how it's going to go, and each day is day one. And you've been there. You just get up and you just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But I prioritize my time now. But yeah, but seedlings. It's called seedlings because we wanted to provide environments that nurture growth.
Oh, I
So
love that.
hence the name. And I'm confidently say we successfully do, but not only for our guests and our clients, but also for people that come and work with us. So I'm supported by amazing humans that come on my retreats, that come and help me. And I like to nurture because that's just maybe the mother hen bit. And so lots of people, I invite people in at the beginning of their journey. And that's what's wonderful, because then you see people come and work with you, then they flourish and they fly off, and then they go and do their own retreat businesses, or they go and run their own classes. And that's really important to me. So for my team, and also for my clients.
Amazing. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so blessed to have seen this journey. I cannot believe it's been 4 years. Oh my
I
goodness, where
know,
has that gone?
it's
Um,
ridiculous.
and I couldn't make it to the Italian retreat this year, but I am definitely coming next year.
Oh, you need to get
100%.
down. I've only got 3
Yeah.
places left.
Right, okay. I'll message you after this.
Yeah,
Um, one other thing is and I know weight is not about weight as a whole, but for you and I, that's where we connected many, many years ago. The fact that we were trying to run with this physical and mental weight. And looking back, it was 2 miles a day. And actually that now is something that I may not be able to run forever, but I can run, walk. And there was a thing that was all about, gotta run these 2 miles, gotta run these 2 miles.
I know. And it's just so hard running when you're overweight as well.
Yeah, it
I
hurts.
had because obviously I did the running with you, and it was 2 miles for 100 days, and I was pretty overweight then. But then from then my weight was going up and up
Mm.
and up and up. So I think I probably put 3 stone on after we were running together then. And then I can remember starting running 22 just before I went on my weight loss journey, and I just thought, my God, why is this so hard? Because I could remember how it was when I was running before. And then I just remember saying to my running lady that I was running with, I'm going to come back when I've lost some weight. But in my heart, I thought, I'm never going to come back. So I'm never going
Mhm.
to lose this weight. And then obviously, yeah. And I think it's so much more than the weight loss, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think you just like nurturing your mental health, caring, nurturing it started with love, because I've got a coach and he's amazing, always better than yesterday. And I know he's going to come onto your podcast, Ryan
Yeah.
Hardy. And he always used to say to me, because for the first couple of years of him coaching, I went round and round in circles and always come back to my weight, my weight, my weight. I will be happy when. And he said to me, he said, you just need to start with self-love. That
Mhm.
is where it starts. Yeah. And as soon as the self-love started, and you started caring about what you put in your mouth, caring about your body, caring about finding time just to be, and then it just morphed into then mending your physical, not sorry, mending your mental, and then moving on to the physical. And it's just been this one journey. But I did have lots of imposter syndrome, because I started my wellness retreats when I was 7 stone heavier. And before every retreat, I had this. I remember saying to Chris, they're just not going to believe me. They're just not going to listen
Mm.
to me. Who's going to listen to me when I'm so overweight? And Chris said, it's so much more than the weight.
Yeah, it is 100%.
And he said, and I just used to say to my ladies, I'm a work in progress. This is my journey. This is where I want to be. Get on my train. And because it's a bit like your trauma
It
train, get on my train and you will see. And now my ladies have come from my first retreat, and now I'm like, and just see me just grow, and it's inspired them. So many people around me have just taken control of their life, thinking Jen can do it, I can do it, which
Well,
is brilliant.
even your
Look at my
son, oh my
son.
gosh, Will, like,
7.5 stone. He had fatty liver disease at 28.
I
Within
know.
7 months, let's just say within 10 months, it had gone and he'd lost 7.5 stone. He thought, Mum can do it, I can do it. And I said, I'll support you. You've got to do it. Each day
Mhm.
is day one. You cannot play at this. You've got to change to make change.
I love that.
And some people reach out and say, is it hard? Yes, it is hard. Crying in a mirror every time you go into a changing room is harder. Not being able to fit in your clothes, not being able to put your pants on without holding against the wall because you're so inflexible, not being able to get off the floor, not being able to
Out
run
of
with your
breath,
granddaughter.
out of breath walking up the stairs, like,
Yeah. Not being able to
but
have sex with the lights on.
yeah,
That's hard. And so you get right down to the nitty gritty.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's just, yeah, so it's about life's about choosing your hard. So, but I still suffer with my anxiety, and it is what it is. But I completely know what I need to do, and I have a plethora of tools. And so when I can feel it come in, I know exactly what to do to settle it.
Amazing. So one last question is, I know we were on talking about the weight, but in my head, I see your Instagram, I see your stories, I see you walking through the beautiful Welsh countryside, and I see you in the gym and I see you smashing those weights. And it's amazing because the gym is my happy place. It's absolutely my happy place. And like I said, it's almost like you've taken a suit, former Jen suit off, and you've come out of yourself and you're in there. And I love it. I love it. And can people follow your journey, or is that a personal thing? Is it just seedlings? How can they
No.
find
So
out?
it's so I've got a couple of Instagram pages. The Seedlings Retreats and Holidays is very much about my business. I don't infuse my weight journey through that because actually my space is not about the weight loss. It's about
Hmm.
everything. It's about just loving yourself. If you love yourself, you know, everything seems to just fall into place afterwards. But I have got another page, Breathe, Move, Be, which I'll share with you the deets. That's a bit about my journey. So apologies, you might see me in my underwear. My kids always get stressed out. Mum, don't put posts. I say, if you don't like it, don't follow. And my page isn't for everybody, but it's not about me. It's not about bragging, but I just want to just share. I'm proud of what I've achieved. And I just hope that I can inspire others. And I have hundreds of people that reach out, that say, you've motivated me. You know, I've got probably 4 or 5 really good friends that have lost 4 stone plus as a consequence of just thinking Jen can do it, I can do it. And, you know, I do enjoy the gym, but I still every day have to motivate myself
Hmm.
to go. I could so easily roll over and have another hour's kip. So
Yeah.
it's, you know, you just got to get on, you just got to grind because and it's not about having the bikini body. It's about, for me now, because I'm sort of 57 and I'm, you know, it's about longevity. I want to
Yeah.
have muscles so that I can get out of a chair. If I fall over, I get back up. I went flying the other day because I was miles away in a podcast where absolutely face planted, didn't even get a bruise, just got straight back up. You know, some people would have broken a bone doing that, you
Yeah.
know, I'm just really strong. And I picked my granddaughter up and I can outrun her and get my ass down one of her slides and roll around on the ball pit. It's about those things. It's just not about being skinny. Whereas in my 20s, I just wanted to look good. And that's
Yeah.
probably why I never found the motivation to keep it off because
No,
the relationship with food was so bad. But, you know, I've addressed the demons, but I still have food noise.
yeah.
100% still get food noise. But then I just go for a walk, have some water. You know, the dopamine of being able to feel healthy outweighs the dopamine of having a big slab of cake. And I still have
100%.
cake.
Yeah.
I still have cake, but then I'll make sure that I'm just more conscious about
Well, you
my
were making a
relationship
cake
with
this
food.
morning when when we logged on.
Yeah, well, we're running an event this weekend, and I've got some beautiful ladies coming and gents. And I always dish up because they go in the contrast therapy, and then they always have a slice of cake,
Nice.
and they all take it away with them because I don't want anything left because it'll literally be calling
Yeah.
me. It literally shouts out the fridge. So I'm just human, you know,
Yeah.
and if it's in the fridge, it'll be knocking on the door, literally dancing in front of me, saying, eat me, eat me. So I've still got that food noise, but I have the willpower and the discipline to stay consistent.
Yeah.
And so if people are interested in that weight loss, just reach out, interested in help with their mental health, breath work, reach out. I've got an amazing, affordable platform. And with people who are interested in having some time away and experiencing the West Wales countryside and what we offer, just take a look at what we offer. And you know,
Amazing.
and I'm here to help. You know, lots of people reach out, and for me, it's not about the money; it's about helping. We give back a lot. So if somebody really needs help but they're really, really broke, it doesn't matter. Still reach out. We can help you because I haven't learned all this or gone through all this shadow and not to be able to share the light.
I love that. Love that. That might even be what I call this episode. Yeah. So I can resonate with what you just said about not about food noise, but about hard things. Because yesterday I had some really crappy news, and I was already on a kind of I had a major trigger a couple of weeks ago. So um then I had another, like everything's been like pick, 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 pick. And yesterday I got to the gym and I literally sat in my car for an hour an hour before I went in, and I did feel better coming out, and I felt amazing from moving. My mood had lifted, but I just thought to myself, "What am I doing?" So I on my TikTok, I've actually put my first ever video of my face as well as all my other stuff, but just saying how bloody hard it is sometimes
So
just
hard.
to get up.
It is. It's so hard. But it's the fact is the reason why we are where we are is because we have pushed through that hard and said, yeah,
Yeah.
this is hard. This is shit. I want to stay in the warm. It's peeing down the rain. I got to get to the gym. I ache. But we are where we are because
Mhm.
we've pushed through that. And I can guarantee the day you don't want to meditate, the day you don't want to get in the ice bath, or the day you don't want to get into the gym is the day you really need to do those things.
One
And you will feel amazing. So just push yourself. And if somebody is looking at this thinking, well, look, they've done it, but I can't do it, or I've got 10 stone to lose, and you can do it.
Mhm.
Anything is possible. And it's just a case, if it just makes really small changes, if it's all massively overwhelmed, you can't afford a coach, whatever, just make really small changes. And AI's out there now. It's
Oh my gosh,
amazing.
yeah.
Just go into ChatGPT and say, this is my weight, this is my height, what should I weigh? How long should it take me? Give me a plan. Tell me how much food to eat. If you've got no money, you could do that. Tell me what
Mhm.
to eat. Break it down for me. Give me recipes. If you've got the money, shout out to my coach, his diet, maybe shout out to yours, changed my life,
Mhm.
absolutely changed my life and my son's life and loads of people I know. But, there is other ways. There is so
Yeah.
much information out there now to help us.
And it's
So
not a
many
quick
podcasts.
fix.
It's
Sorry.
not a quick fix. It's not, I'm doing a 10-week plan at the moment, but then that's possible because I'm down to my ideal weight. So I'm
Yeah.
looking for change, and you can achieve a lot in 12 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks when you before a shoot, but it's not a quick fix.
No.
I knew that when I was doing this plan, I'd be on it probably for 2 years. I knew that you don't have 30 years of abuse with your body, as in up and down yo-yo dieting. Could write a book about all the diets,
I know.
and then solve it in 3 months.
No.
It's taken me, and even now I'm still working every day. I'm in November, it'll be 3 years on my journey. But
Wow.
the majority of my weight was lost within the first year. So it's probably 10 months I lost the 8 stone. And then it's keeping it off and then
Mhm.
getting stronger and finding the confidence to walk into the gym, because that can be
Yeah.
a really scary place. But everyone is lovely in there. They really do care.
Yeah.
Just find a friend to go, or just go on your own and just go in and just speak to a coach and just say, it's my first day. And they just love it. They want to see new people in
Yeah.
there because it's just going to help you, make you a better wife, better husband, better friend, sister, brother, whatever.
Better version of yourself
Yeah,
as
just better
well.
than yesterday.
Yes.
And all you can do is try your best. And every day your best will be different.
Absolutely.
Some days my best is like, wow, I could take the world over. And other days my best is really, really minimal, but it's still
Yeah.
my best for that moment.
That I watched a reel on Instagram the other day, and it was actually a lady that was talking about another lady that had put a reel up, and it was, what if you woke up and today was going to be the best day of your life? It's like, oh my God, that's an amazing concept. Like, just flip it. Anyway, I think we're probably going to have to wrap up because we could talk for
I
hours.
know. Mindset. It's all about mindset. They say
Yeah.
your thoughts create your reality.
Yeah.
So, and that maybe is for another pod, but positive thoughts. So, going to bed thinking of three amazing, thinking, being grateful. So, what's three things I'm grateful for today? Because there is science proves that if you go to bed with gratitude, you wake up happier. And then in the morning, before you even get out of bed, what am I grateful for? Three things. It could just be the sound of the birds through the window. It could be just the fact the sun's peeping through the curtains, or the fact you've woken up, or you're breathing, or you know whatever. Just keep it like really, really simple things, but make that part of your morning ritual with your breath and a cold shower and the positive mindset, self-love. Looking in the mirror, you are enough. I
Yeah.
love you.
Is it Mel Robbins? She does the high five, doesn't she? She goes,
Yeah, I do it with all my clients once they've got in the ice and getting out the sauna, but just looking in the mirror and saying, I am enough. I love you. You are amazing. You are strong. And I couldn't even look in the mirror without crying when I was really poorly, but that is super powerful. And, no flower grew without love. So that's the very first place to start for any of your readers, listeners.
I love that. Right. I think, well, I usually I've been asking my guests to give me tips, but I don't need to do that with you, hun, because you have given me so many positive ways that they can change their day, their week, their month, their life. And I love that. I cannot thank you enough for sharing this space with me, because you are my beautiful friend, and I'm incredibly proud and grateful that we are on this journey together. And
Likewise.
I can't wait for the next one. You're going to need to come on again, because we've got so much to talk about.
Yeah, so much. But thank you for inviting me, and I wish you all the best with your podcast. You're going to be amazing.
Thank you so much for joining me today on Riding the Trauma Train. I'm Lydia, and I feel privileged to share this space with you. No matter where you are on this train right now, whether it's in survival mode, slowly finding your feet in recovery, or maybe it's somewhere in between, remember, you are not alone in what you're feeling, and you do not have to travel this journey by yourself. So if you'd like to continue traveling together, please follow Riding the Trauma Train wherever you're listening, so you can join us at the next stop. Until next time, take care.